Welcome back to Nightly Nonsense, where we make some sense out of the nonsense. All right, so we asked you last night the most important question: does the shepherd know your name? Tonight, I want to say to you, the shepherd needs to know your name in order for you to come out of the sheepfold. Right? The benefits of coming out of the sheepfold, we're going to talk about in 1 second. But if the shepherd doesn't know your name, and he's not going to call it. He's not calling out and saying, hey, everybody who wants to come, come. He's calling out people by name. So think that through on a Sunday morning. Jesus came to the back of the church and he started calling out names. Would he get to yours? If he was going in alphabetical order by last name, would he get to your name? And when he got to your name, do you know for sure he would call it? Right? Here's the benefit of that, right? He leads them out. Verse 4 in chapter 10 of John, it says, when he has brought out all of his own, he goes before them, and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice. So the benefit is this, that he's going to lead you. He's going to lead you again to good pastures, to still waters. He's going to be leading you to where you need to be. Right? He takes out his sheep and he leads them out. Where do you need to be? What is it that God has for you to do? But in order for you to do that, you need to know that God knows your name, that Jesus knows your name. A lot of us trying to team up with people, hoping that somehow we're going to get in by like, hey, I'm with this pastor. Hey, I'm with this person. Hey, I'm with that person. You're only getting to heaven. You're only getting to heaven, but you're only going to be also used here on earth that the shepherd knows your name. Notice he wants to lead you out. He's got a plan for you. He's got a purpose for you, but he has to be your shepherd, right? If you go back to Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd. And then it goes through a whole bunch of things. But the whole key to that is the Lord your shepherd. Not are you walking perfectly, not that you got it all together, not have you never made any mistakes, not all is the Lord your shepherd. But it's not contingent upon the sheep being perfect sheep. He doesn't walk into the sheepfold and go, oh, perfect, I want this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. No, you realize that's how it used to be. God looked and had to have unblemished sacrifices, sheep. But with Jesus was blemish free. He's perfect. And he took the one time sacrifice for us all. Perfection. So that now it's not about perfection in us. It's perfection in Jesus. We're in the sheepfold not because we deserve it. We're in the sheepfold because he knows our name. Shepherd doesn't want any to perish. He's willing to go out and look for any of the lost sheep. But all that happens because we're willing to let him know our name. Again, it seems weird because God knows all of our names and he knows all about us. But Jesus has to have your name on his tongue in order for you to be led out to the purposes and the plan. So some of us are walking around aimlessly. Some of us think we're walking the purpose and plan of Jesus. We've just never, ever, ever asked him. Some of us have never been in the sheepfold. Some of us have done all kinds of things. But the key to the whole thing is, does Jesus know your name? And then notice, good sheep follow him. Right? It says, when he has brought out all his own. All his own. That doesn't mean all of them. Not all of them are coming. When he brings out all of his own, he goes before them, and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice. Right? Does Jesus know your name? Do you know his voice? Do you know his voice? Do you know when you have heard, thus saith the Lord? Do you know when you've heard from Jesus? Do you know when he's imparting his plan and purpose in your life? Do you know when he's trying to move you on from this pasture to this pasture? You understand, sheep have two sets of teeth. They will eat an area completely clean, void of green, to dirt. Do you understand that the shepherd moves the sheep on so that doesn't happen? So then they can come back to that pasture. So they can come back to that place and get nourishment. So other sheep can get nourishment from that place. Sometimes when God moves us on from a place, it's for that reason. It's for that reason that we have eaten all that we can in this area without destroying it. We've eaten every bit of green, right, that we can. That's good. That's healthy to eat. And sometimes God moves us on because there's no more nourishment there for us. Eventually we're going to be eating dirt, but also because he wants to save for the others, for other sheep. Right? It's an important concept, but it's up to the shepherd. The shepherd leads. He tells us when we're moving on. He may be looking at us and going, you're thinking there's no more green here, but there's tons of green here. You just may have to eat some of the things you don't want to, things you don't want to hear. You might have to stomach some of the things you don't want to stomach. He calls us out by name and he leads us out. All of those who are his own. Sheep don't tend to trample on each other while they're eating also. They don't destroy, right, each other as they're trying to eat. They tend to eat in a herd. They just go forward together and eat. That's important. That's important for us as a church. Are you trampling on the grass of other people? Are you making it hard for other people to eat? Are you causing problems within the flock? Right? That's important. Those are the times when God comes in and disciplines and says, hey, you got to be part of the flock. We don't want to be part of the flock. We want to be doing what we want to do. We want to have the best of everything. Right? This is important. Guys, it's important for this time frame. We're entering into the last days, right? We're in the last days, whatever you think about that. We need to know our shepherd's voice. We need him to be able to lead us, keep us safe. We want to go when he says go. We want to come when he says come. We want to be under his protection and his safety. And all of that is us recognizing who our shepherd is and letting him be the shepherd. So again, lots to chew on tonight. Do that. We'll see you next time right here, Nightly Nonsense.